The new Rosetta meta is upon us, and a lot of people were not ready for what they witnessed this past weekend. So let's talk about who won the day, and one of them's right here, and the other one's my boy Kano. But first, major congratulations goes to Darren Ying for picking up the Calling Sydney win. Darren, by the way, also picked up a calling win earlier this year at the Heavy Hitters limited event. Both of these actually were limited callings, and Darren just won both of them. Just started the year off with a calling win for the release of Heavy Hitters, just wrapping the year up at a calling win with the release of Rosetta. Who knows? Maybe he goes wins Worlds. Let's put Darren's name in for winning Worlds at this point, because he's already got the other two callings, and I could see it happening. So congratulations to Darren for picking up the calling win. That, of course, was limited. Now let's talk about Classic Constructed. Starting with the Blood on the Bayou ProQuest Plus event that happened down in Houston, Texas. If you missed it, they had coverage all day of that one on Saturday, and it was a barn burner. It was pretty exciting. I think there were like 60-something people, 57-something people there playing. It was a ProQuest Plus. It was hosted, like I said, locally at the my hometown of Houston, Texas, and Aurora Shooting Star is the victor. I said it early on that Aurora, in my opinion, was the premier aggro deck in the format. Of course, there's Azalea, which has aggro notes and disruption to kind of go along with that, but pure hair on fire offense is Aurora's name and game, and she proved it, showed it in spades on that stream, so go watch how it all unfolded. And of course, congratulations to Michael. Zen takes a step back, and the stage is set for Aurora to take over, and perhaps in a few weeks the stage will yet again be set for Dio-IO to kind of take that mantle up, but as of right now, she's the one that's doing it, and this is the list that took him there. It's a very aggressive list. As you can see, it's very reminiscent of Cheerios Briar from Tales of Aria. All 0 for 4s. Costs you nothing and attacks for 4. Costs you nothing and attacks for 4. Rinse and repeat. Now, how do we get go again on some of these attacks? Well, don't forget, we can pay into Aurora's effect so that we can start our next turn with an Embodiment of Lightning token, giving go again, or we can just use it and then immediately crack that Embodiment of Lightning token with another attack. So we can send a lot of 0 for 4s on the same turn, and we can send some very threatening things alongside of those, like, for example, card draw in the form of Snatch, bigger attacks in the form of Enlightened Strike, and we have this really sick little combo package with the brand new Lightning card Gone at a Flash that allows you to play at instant speed, play an instant card, and then return this to your hand. So as damage is being resolved and they take some points of damage, you can play an instant, something like Electrostatic Discharge or Electromagnetic Somersault or even Lightning Press, which would be not a great use, but you could do it. You can play these cards. Blink was a fantastic one, and then bounce this back, return it to your hand, and then play it again. After damage resolution means that you get both the damage and the card back to your hand. Very, very cool card, and a fun combo piece available to all Lightning heroes. Acilio plays the same combo style as well, but that's not the only combo that she can do, because she has access to Arc Lightning, which is her Aurora specialization, and it is nuts. It is cracked all the way in half, because it says whenever you go again this turn, aka resolving the go again trigger on a card, you just deal 1 arcane damage to any target. Yeah, you can just ping your opponent for 1, and the next the next action card, not even attack action card, but action card you play this turn gets go again. So you're granting go again to the next thing you play. Oh, and by the way, this card also has go again, of course. So when you play it, it will automatically ping your opponent for 1 point of arcane damage. And then everything else you play on the turn, including whatever you play next that gets go again, just pings for 1. So Fry pings for a point of arcane damage. Arcanic Shockwave, if you've made an embodiment, pings for 1 arcane damage. Enlightened Strike, if you choose go again, 1 arcane damage. Entwined Lightning Fused, 1 arcane damage. Ravenous Rabble, which is in a fantastic deck, by the way. I want to point out this is a 45 red main deck here. Ravenous Rabble, probably throw a third one in there, let's be honest, just because you're going to find reds off the top. But pings for an arcane. Even Grasp of the Arc Knight has Go Again on it. Pings for a point of Arcane if you activate Grasp. Swing the Sword. If you've played a Lightning card, pings for a point of Arcane. You can go so far into the weeds, people are playing Aether Iron Weave so that you can gain resources and ping for Arcane. They're playing one of my favorite cards, Crown of Dominion, crack the gold token, Go Again, ping for a point of damage, cycle a card, gain a resource. It gets nuts fast, and that's not even the craziest part, because if you're against like control decks, you just play this much maligned and almost never played card called Flicker Wisp. Yeah, Flicker Wisp. I have a billion of these. Well, I used to. Flicker Wisp is pretty cool now, because if you fuse this, then all your action card effects that deal arcane damage instead deal that much +1. So it amps them by 1 essentially. And then, by the way, it has Go Again, and it deals a point of arcane as well in and of itself. So that means that every time you go again with Arc Lightning, if you combine these two cards, every Go Again pings for 2 points of arcane damage. So if anyone's bringing AB2, they're like, sweet, I profit. And everybody else just takes the damage. It's fantastic. It's disgusting. And it is the reason that Michael was able to punch his ticket to the top tables and then take the entire tournament down. Congratulations for picking up the Blood on the Bayou. That's a hard thing to say. Blood on the Bayou tournament, ProQuest Plus. That's a mouthful. But that's not the only thing that happened this weekend, because Kano is back. News of his death was highly exaggerated. And it's mainly because of this card right here. Everyone was like, they took away the tomes. They took them all away. Kano has been crucified for the sins of the books. And instead, they're like, nah, just kidding. We have 9 tomes. 9 tomes exist in the deck now, and they are not better. They're not better, but they're a great sideways step that encourages even more interactivity. So for those that don't know, Kano is my favorite hero in the game. He is a wizard that allows you to play at instant speed on your opponent's turn if you choose to, but otherwise he can just play a tempo game. This is the tempo list. It is not the stacking list that was getting very, very popular and perhaps was the better of the two lists. This is the tempo version. And for those that don't know the tempo version, you are basically looking to play a value game where you block with all of your 3 blocks. Almost this entire deck blocks for 3, which is fantastic. The things that don't block for 3 are your instants and your potions. And everything else blocks for 3, so you can block with 2 cards pretty much every turn, blocking for 6. And then you send evasive arcane damage that's a little bit harder and more uncomfortable to deal with for your opponent, and they, pitch cards from their hand to stop your on damage effects, and then they play a worse turn, and then you block efficiently again, and then you send something scary, and they pitch cards to play a worse turn and to prevent some damage, and this whole thing cycles, rinses, and repeats. You chip damage through over time, and then you kill them on their own turn with a big Aether Wildfire combo, which is really exciting for everyone. Everyone is excited. All of us. Okay, so that's how he kind of functions in a tempo sense, and that's the version that still lives on, and the reason, like I said, is Open the Floodgates. This card is so well designed. When I saw this card at the world premiere of Rosetta, I was like, oh yeah, that's why Tome doesn't exist anymore, because we got him right here. But like I said, it's not that they're strictly better. They do function quite well in the combo, but the reason that tomes were so scary, like for example, Tome of Aetherwind cost you nothing, drew you 2 cards. So you could block with your entire hand except this card, you could play Tome of Aetherwind, get 2 blues, and then actually have a turn. That is really cracked. That's really powerful. And then on a combo turn, if you had Tome of Aetherwind, you could just send for massive amounts of damage. If you were in a bad position because you did not execute very well, you could like Hail Mary try to find a tome and turn the game around. Okay, so it didn't feel very good from the opposing perspective. How does this fix it? Because this still can draw you 2 cards. Well, first of all, it costs 2, and that is huge. That is massive, because on a very basic combo level, you were looking for Aether Wildfire, which costs you 2, and then of course Boots costs you 1, so that you can Storm Striders them out. So that's 3. Then you were looking for a 0-cost spell from the top. You have to pay 3 from the top of your deck, because you're activating Kano, so that's 6 resources. Then you were looking to play Blazing Aether. That's another 3 resources from the top of your deck, so that's a 9 total combo turn, right? To do the same exact very basic Wildfire combo, you now have to pay 11 Okay, 11 resources. So you have to have set up some sort of this combo. You can't just really luck into it very easily. And that's just the baseline version of the combo. Now, if you want to do like wildfire lessons, like there's more ways to kind of fit this in, but it's more expensive if you want to go this super wide version of the combo. So that's one way they balanced this card out. The other way is that now, because wildfire buffs this, and this is a surge effect, you have to surge to draw the cards. If you're running for like a Hail Mary kind of combo and you find Open the Floodgates, if your opponent is playing any amount of disruption or prevention, damage prevention, they could actually consider using it on Open the Floodgates. And in doing so, they can stop you from drawing those extra cards and perhaps killing them. So the combo doesn't hinge upon wildfire and only wildfire anymore. Now the opponent has a little bit more agency if they feel like they can A-B a little bit on Aether Wildfire and then Oasis the Open the Floodgates to stop you from drawing the cards and therefore win the game by not dying on their own turn. That's cool design. So this card is not busted cracked beyond belief. It is very good for Kano, and it serves a great function, which is why there are 9 of them in the deck. I will say a couple weeks ago when the set was just released and I came back from Tampa Bay, the first thing I did to Kano was I threw in 7 of these, but 7 was not clearly enough because 9 is the number. Now, other things that are interesting about this deck construction is the re-inclusion of Sonic Boom. This is a card that a lot of players, first of all, it's my favorite wizard card. I love this card. I desperately wanted this card to be like playable in Acilio, and I don't know, maybe you just build a weird Acilio deck just so I can play Sonic Boom, but it's not. And the reason that it's not playable in Acilio is because there's a lot of instance and non-wizard, non-attack cards. Or they are wizard cards, but they are not non-attack action cards. They're like instance and things. So why does this seem weird in this deck? Well, take a look at the effect. If it deals damage, you'll look at the top of the deck, your deck, and if it's a wizard non-attack action card on top, you can banish it, and then it gets reduced in cost by how much damage you dealt. So if you dealt 2, and you can look at the top of your deck, and it is a wizard non-attack action card, you can get it for 2 resources less and play it at instant speed, which is super awesome. That's why I love this card. But it misses on all potions, which there are 6. It misses on any instance, which Kindle is 1, and it misses on the gems, which is Eye of Ophidia and Will of Arcana. So there are 3, 6, 9, 10, 11 misses. That's 17% of the time. If you start the game off playing Sonic Boom, and yet, well, technically it's a little bit higher, a little bit lower. If you start the game off, 56 chances, and the very top of the card, top of the deck card is like a potion or something. That's like a 17-ish% chance, maybe like 16.5. So why play it? Well, apparently, it's just really good when it doesn't miss, and that is accurate. I can definitely attest to that. So it's just like slamming in the deck, and you just don't miss. Just don't miss. That's the answer. And you know who didn't miss? Stephen Young didn't miss. He picked up the win with the list we're looking at right now against his fellow teammate and Kano aficionado Fahad. Both of them were Kano players. They were both teching and prepping for this event. They were both playing Kano, and congrats to both of them. Specifically, congrats to Steven, but they both showed up and showed out. They carved their way through the top 8, and well, they put basically the same list down onto the field, and they both got there in the end. And they just had to settle who was the victor over the 2 of them. So that's pretty awesome. Congratulations to both of them for putting in the work and seeing the fruits of their labor. Before we shift off of this, though, the sideboard is super stacked nicely to play against Enigma. You can also play this into like mid-range and control heroes. You just play a bunch of like value 1-for-4s and Waning Moon. You play this into Verdance. You could probably play this into like Florian. Basically anyone that's basically trying to be a Guardian, you could play this into them as well, which feels pretty good. In fact, that's what I was doing. I was just throwing like 65 cards and all of my 1-for-4s and 2-for-5s into most of my like slower matchup, and it feels good. It feels really, really good. This list is exactly what I would be throwing out there. Basically, maybe 2 Potion of Deja Vus, but cards showing up pretty well. So I don't know. Seems really, really good. And Steven picked up a battle-hardened win on the first weekend when everyone thought he was dead. And everyone's still running AB3 too, which is the craziest part. So man, congratulations. This is pretty awesome. Let me know what you think about this meta as it's going to unfold. This weekend, we're going to see another Battle Hardened, this one in Milwaukee. I will be there commentating this one, put on by MinMax Games, sponsor of the channel. So watch their channel and, watch the coverage that we're going to bring you this coming weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun. And we're going to see more Kano. We're going to see more Coping and Praying, apparently, which is the name of this list. Aurora Shooting Star. Who knows what we're going to see? Leave a comment down below with what you want to see this coming weekend. And check out MinMax's stream this weekend for more coverage. It's also going to be a Living Legend ProQuest Plus on Sunday that we're going to bring you as well. So this is going to be a really, really good weekend. If you enjoy these types of recap videos, let me know in a comment below and make a number go to another number. Generally, we like it when they go up, not down, but make a number go to another number, hit the subscribe button, and it goes up, which is pretty good. As always, thanks for watching.